bloggers are automatically better than reporters, but not much. I mean, the blog explosion is in part, of course, because more and more people, even ones we wouldn't think are on our side, completely distrust the joke of corporate McNews. You know, they know not to believe the legion of castrati, who we might as well call them what they are these days, prostitutes. Oh my God, look at Anderson Cooper kick ass. His hair's blowing in the hurricane. God, he's got guts. He ain't gonna question Cheney though, that's for sure. I mean, the blogs, the best part is anyone can do it and anything goes. And the worst part is anyone can do it and anything goes. And some people poison it for everybody else by being a lot looser with the truth than CNN and Fox combined. Of course, now there are bloggers paid by corporations to look like your average citizen, enthusiastic for the corporation. According to Wired, the military is now thinking of hiring their own blogging brigade to promote their spin and message on things, or trash a specific critic they want to neutralize. Two interesting examples of how the corporate media uses younger independent media people are right in my hometown. The San Francisco Chronicle is one, who's now the only paper left, and thinks of themselves as the local New York Times, but now it takes even less time to read than the New York Times does, significantly less. And they devote more and more of their space to bloggers and reviews of bloggers, while Channel 4, who used to have a very reputable news department, keeps laying off their real reporters and just going through an endless conveyor belt of cub reporters and indie media people with a camera, perhaps because they don't have to pay them. Oh, wow, this is even better than reality shows. We don't have to spend money on anybody. We'll just use them all. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Recent study by Cardiff University in Wales concluded that 12%, at least of news stories in Great Britain, only 12% were entirely composed of material researched by reporters. 8% they couldn't really tell, but the other 80% was all based on secondhand stories, and only 12% of those were fact-checked at all. Bringing us into this weird, as Stephen Colbert calls it, weekiality, where everything is true because nothing is true, because everything is true because nothing is true. Most bloggers are pundits, not journalists. Cool to read, you can learn something from the good ones who do it well, but very few of them actually do their own research, and for that reason, I don't quote blogs in my spoken word shows as a source unless I have something else to back it up besides the blog. Plus, the blogosphere should not ever be allowed to become a drug, where people are so into blogging with like-minded bloggers and they have all their like-minded news groups that they're all limiting themselves to this echo chamber where they all agree with each other all the time. I mean, you need outside opinions, you need dissent in order to figure out what's really going on out there in the big, bad world. And the answer to clueless or bullshit bloggers is not restrictions on bloggers, it's just continuing the effort and intensifying effort to get through to everybody how important it is to practice media literacy. I don't think people should graduate from high school till they pass a class on media literacy, but since they don't teach those classes, we have to teach it ourselves and point out to people young and old when there is out and out bullshit, especially if you laugh at it with them and then they never quite believe everything they see on CNN or Fox News again. In other words, don't just question authority, question bloggers. Because when you never know where anybody's coming from, especially in the blogosphere, especially if they're treating it as their own little drug, we all got to help everybody else develop better, sharper bullshit detectors. But what do you do if the bullshit is aimed at you and you don't even know who's doing it because they're too chicken to sign their own names? I mean, there's some famous examples of this, like some